I wouldn't call you a witch. Did I really call you a little witch?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Don't ever call your friends witches.
It's said with love, I know.
Well, maybe you'd stop stirring in that bubbling cauldron. Yes?
How old were you guys when you became interested in ghost hunting?
I was very young. I started ghost hunting with my dad when I was probably 10 or 11. Just a long time.
With your dad? That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You lived
No, it's fine.
Oh. So, yeah, Amy actually lived in a haunted house for quite some time. So you know about that real estate firsthand.
I do. Well, I was a kid, so I thought it was just kind of cool. My parents weren't really bothered by it, and so we started reading up on it. My dad and I had this old tape recorder, and we tried to get EVP, and then we started going to local cemeteries and doing the same thing. And so it was it's kind of cool. It was like a bonding experience with my dad, but it was also kind of weird.
I became interested probably around 6 years old. I remember watching a movie called The Entity, and my mother didn't really want me to watch it with her. She was trying to hide my eyes, but if you've watched a movie, like a horror movie, your mom covers, sometimes you can see between the fingers. I remember doing a lot of that, and eventually during the credits I saw it saying, this movie's based on true events. And I flipped out. I was like, Mom, you liar! How dare you? You can't lie to me about this. And ever since then, I wanted to get to the bottom of what the stuff is. So maybe 6, and then I remember 12, reading Lloyd Auerbach's Parapsychologist Handbook, ESP Hauntings, and Poltergeist. That book sort of changed my life as far as the paranormal. It made me realize you have to take it seriously as a profession. It can't just be in the dark, in a graveyard hobby, And so that was the jump start for me. What about you? Are you interested? Oh, thank you. Sweet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that kind of surreal for you when you started meeting all these authors and stuff in the paranormal when you did the show? That was really weird for me.
Yeah, when I met Lloyd Auerbach, I had a hard time talking to him because he's been but apparently he hates me, which I'm kind of bummed about. And he was going to investigate with me once at this one place. He's like, you know what, I'm all set. I'm not interested. I don't like the way they do things. I said, what do you mean? What a drag. But no big deal. He's been nice ever since. Still his book. And check out John Zaffis. He's downstairs. He has books and stuff. He's amazing. If you're getting interested in that, read it into this stuff. Miss?
Hi. My question is, since you have a fear of flying, I'm not sure if you've ever conquered that fear, but you see you guys leaving from TAPS and Rhode Island, and the next thing you know, you're in San Francisco. You're there too.
That's right.
How do you get there? Because I know that you do fly now.
No.
And so it takes you guys a long time to get out there.
Yes. I haven't flown in probably 8 years, and I don't think I ever will again. They've tried to get me to fly for the show and a lot of different things, but I just can't do it. But to answer the question, I drive everywhere. So if you see us in San Diego, I came from Massachusetts.
Did everybody drive, or was it just you?
What? I'm sorry?
Did everybody drive?
Not always. Sometimes people drive and that sort of thing, but Jay and Grant like to fly because they have kids and family. They don't want to be on the road for 5 days. But the vehicles have to get back and forth, so I go with that. I hop in.
Yeah, people forget that we have all of our equipment, plus all the camera equipment for the show, and that all has to get there somehow. So every of the crew has to drive pretty much. But I live in California, so San Diego was great for me. So I just took a little flight down and met everybody. It's nice.
That's right. We're going down at once.
Yes.
Poor Amy's had the luxury of working next to home one time.
Yeah, one time. I remember it was one investigation where I woke up in my own bed. I'm like, this is so cool. This is the only time this has happened in 2 years.
I remember that. I'm like, I get to go to my own bed tonight. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
I drove the investigation in my car, and everybody's like, oh, you have a car?
Thank you.
Well,
Hello.
hi.
First of all, Steve, I totally sympathize with you. I have a horrible fear of flying, and I drove here from Pennsylvania because I refused to get on the plane ever again.
Thank you for driving to come see us.
Awesome.
It's great.
Absolutely. My question is, have you guys ever been just on vacation and you've had experiences in your hotel or just wherever you are, you're not investigating, you're just there to have fun?
So the question is, have we ever just been on vacation and run across ghosts and been like, oh, we're going to... Myself, not too much. I remember being in places and if it's something, I'd check it out. But like Tango, I know, loves, he'll go to Gettysburg and go on the ghost tours and he'll do all that fun stuff. But I don't really, when I'm on vacation, we get so, like, to be honest, very few days off that if I'm on vacation, I'm probably going to be on vacation. Maybe not looking for ghosts, but sometimes I have the same.
There was one time where we had done an event at the Mount Washington Hotel in New Hampshire, and so I thought, I'm going to tack a few days onto this and get some R&R here. And the guy I was dating at the time was there with me, and we were trying to go to bed, and the light kept turning on, and whenever we'd get into bed, pull up the covers, and the light would pop on. We're like, really? And we'd start to get up to go turn it off, and it would turn off. And it kept doing this for a good half an hour, and finally I just yelled, I'm like, I don't know what is going on here, but you need to stop. Light out, never came back on. So, it was pretty wild, but I mean, what do I expect? I'm hanging out at a haunted hotel on my vacation, so it's my own fault.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well,
okay. There's one place in San Diego, I think it was California, and you went, investigated, and everything was rigged. Like, they had set everything up. How often does that happen to you guys?
That was Moss Beach Distillery, and they didn't rig it to sort of dupe us. It had always been rigged. That way they just never told us. But they would tell us, oh yeah, the story in here is that the chandeliers move on their own. And then all of a sudden you find a machine, in the ceiling that's moving the chandeliers. And you're like, really? This rope pulley system? And it just didn't make sense. And he was like, yeah, this is at a place called Moss Beach that we investigated. He's like, yeah, there's a face that appears in the mirror of the bathroom. You should go investigate it. It's crazy. Everyone gets scared of it. And it's clearly like a Halloween prop mask that lights up behind a mirror. It's like, oh man, come on. It's like, you could see the button for it where you turn it on. But it didn't happen too often. I remember a case a long time ago. We actually had a gentleman, I wasn't on this case, but they actually had a gentleman build a speaker system into his wall. So it created like bangings and knockings and try to, get us over that way. But Grant found like a hole and he's like, what is this? It's weird. And then he kind of pulled it as a wire. He's like, this is speaker wire. This is like electrical wire. And he just ripped the whole thing down with all these speakers.
The interesting thing about Moss Beach is that place is a very famous haunted West Coast location. Actually, Lloyd Arbach has been doing a case study on it for like over 10 or 15 years. So it's really unfortunate that they did that because I hear they have very legitimate activity there, but now they're kind of known on national TV.
That's right. And I remember Jane Grant being there because I remember being angry and I was like, we should leave. This is crazy. And Jane Grant was like, listen, just because these few things are slightly askew doesn't mean that there isn't some legitimate phenomena happening. So we do have to, stay and investigate it the entire time, and we did give it a great investigation. But I don't think we found anything.
I wasn't there. I came to visit you guys.
Oh.
Remember that? This is the first time I met you, actually.
Moss Beach?
No, in San Francisco.
Oh, I met you at the Serpentis Train. That's right, in the lobby. She was just in the corner, smoking a cigarette, with her high heels. And then some guy with a crazy hat came over and was like, you got my money. I said, Jesus, what's going on? I don't completely get that.
Oh, man.
If you guys could be on any TV show that was not paranormal, what would it be and who would you play?
Did she ask if we could be on any TV show that's not paranormal? Hell's Kitchen.
Okay, there's something I've always wondered about. When you're investigating and you run into a cold spot, there you go. But then when you're using your thermal cameras and you get a hit, it's almost orange or white, which is heat. So my question is it goes hot or does it go cold?
I don't think there's a specific, every time a ghost is hot or cold, but a lot of times, when I've brought our imagery to FLIR, or is it FLIR or FLIR?
I say FLIR, but
okay, yeah.
that's...
Well, when I bring it to FLIR, the company that makes the thermal, or when we talk to scientists, they do say that on a thermal camera, well, you may be actually capturing, because it comes up hot, these things can, possibly produce hot spots or manifest and become hot. But the way it's been described to me is sort of, while it's sort of coming or manifesting, there's going to be an exchange of energy.